Welcome back to Copenhagen Blue. I've not had this car on the channel before, but I've had it for 22 years. No, damn. I've had this car for 26 years. Yeah, that's a long time. But this is my 1985 and a half, and yes, the half matters, Porsche 944 non-turbo. So she's always just kind of been tucked into the garage. I planned on making videos with her for a while, but until recently, when I needed to get this out of the garage to bring the Journey in, I hadn't had a whole lot that really was pressing. Other cars were taking priority. Well, she decided she doesn't want to start, and here's what she's doing. So as you can see, she cranks, but we don't get any fires. We don't get any engine. There's no hiccups. There's nothing. And on a Porsche, when you get the tachometer not even moving, and on a lot of cars that I've actually learned, you're not getting reference from either the crank or the camshaft, which in this car, there are two crank position sensors. One that tells it when it's in top dead center, and the other one that tells you what the RPMs are. Well, I'm not getting a reading from at least the tachometer one. And when I went to go take it apart and look at the connectors, which are right up here on our 80s masterpiece of spaghetti, these just broke apart. So I was able to order these sensors. One is the DG and one is the BG. One is the reference sensor for top dead center, and one is the crank position sensor. Now way down there you can actually see that little black with the nut on it, and the other one with the nut. Those are the sensors themselves. So what we're going to do is I'm going to try and get those out, and we're going to put new ones in and see if she'll crank over. And then that'll kind of kick off maybe my enthusiasm to start doing some videos on this, since I'll have probably some free time to do it now. But let's get started. Got the socket on. It's a 10 millimeter, it looks like. Okay. Well, that's at least coming out. Let's see if we can get down and get the other one broken free as well. Okay, there, that time it went. We've got a small magnet to put down here. Hopefully catch that nut. Actually, it's a bolt. So one's out. That's cool. And we got the second one. Cool. Now we have to try and figure out whether or not those are actually going to come out, because it's a Hall effect sensor and it's down in a shaft. Chances are it's probably not going to come out the way that I want. But let me show you what the sensor looks like. It's like this. So what we're looking at right now is we're looking at the top of it, and all of that is down in there. There's a little O-ring. Guess we'll see how stuck it is and what the heck we're going to use to try and pull it out. You can't really see, but I have a pair of needle nose pliers way down on this sensor, and we're just slowly pulling straight up. You can see that it's come up a little bit. Oh, looks interesting. It's got a metal sleeve instead of a plastic one on the bottom. Hopefully that doesn't mean a difference in parts. But other than that, aside from a really stiff wire, that came out really easy. I guess let's see if we can get the new one in. Well, we put a little bit of WD-40 on there. I can't see how WD-40 would interfere with anything, especially since it's just a Hall effect sensor. We're going to see if we can get it down in the hole and then be able to reroute the wire and take out the other one. Well, so far it went into the hole. Let's see if it'll push down all the way and seat properly. Now the bracket that it's in is actually pre-spaced, and if you screw it up, it throws everything off. So we're not going to mess with that. We're just going to try and get our sensor out. So that's one down. I'm going to see if we can get the other one. All right. Give me a couple minutes. All right. So we have a little bit of progress here. I'm giving my worn out channel locks a chance to redeem themselves. Grabbed onto the sides of it. And let's see if we can wiggle it out. I don't know if I can get under there now with my fingers. I got it, yep. Awesome. Both those sensors look like they came out from the freaking original factory. Good lord. They have Stuttgart put on them somewhere. In any case, those are our two sensors. So we have our two wires that have snaked around and down. So I'm going to put those just kind of off to the side. Let's see if we can get that sensor the rest of the way in. Hole lined up. We're going to try and take our screw. Looks like we've got that started. So put a swivel on the socket here. So let's see if we can get this to seat a little better. That's much better. I guess that's it. And make sure that it actually fixed it first. This would actually plug in. Oh, that won't go in because of the broken off sensor in there. Well, that makes things freaking fun. You know, in the words of Bunny Maynard, shoot. Alright, well, I didn't realize that the sensors had actually broken off in and around there. So, time to think. Alright, let's try pick action here. Exploding in my face. But I think, for the most part, cool, we got it. It's all rubber now. But for right now, let's just connect the two lines. So there's our BG. There's our DG. So we have our two reference sensors hooked back up. Let's see if she starts. Fire in the hole. Well, that certainly wasn't the result that I was looking for. It's been a few days and I've actually played around with it a little bit more, and I found something that I was not really tickled about, but it's just the nature of the beast. I know the camera won't focus to save its damn life, but the wiring right here and right here is kind of broken up. It's the insulation is broken and cracked, so I ordered 2 new pigtails for the harness. We're gonna get those put in, and hopefully that gets us one step closer to the car firing up. I got the connectors and I got them put in. We're not judging on wiring here, okay? Wiring is not my strong suit. I don't know that mechanical work is my strong suit either, but we're not judging. We have 2 new connectors on the harness, wired in. Let's see what she's got. Now the other thing that I've done is I have checked relays and fuses. Let's turn the key, put the clutch in. Oh, did you see the tack? It was bouncing, so that means it's getting reference. It's getting the signal from the crank sensors. Let's try it again. Cycle the key. She's not happy. I'm not happy, Bob.
I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy.
Well, the good news in all that is that we did get some pops. We got some firing. So she's trying. That at least tells me that it's probably not the DME, which is what I was really worried about, because that's the engine computer, and it's like $175 for a cheap used one. Well, those are good signs. I mean, she ran for a second. Like I got her to pop and kind of feathered the gas, and I got her to run a little bit, but come on, sweetheart. Come on. it's on like 2 cylinders. So I'm wondering if either A, we need to bleed the fuel system, which we shouldn't have to do, or that reference sensor is just not picking up correctly. So I'm thinking last night, right? Like I'm going to sleep and I start thinking, it's a car from the 80s. I mean, when those aren't working, is it still dumping fuel while I'm cranking and those weren't working? So I'm thinking maybe the cylinders are flooded and there's no way to deactivate that. Like on newer cars, you hold the pedal to the floor, it shuts off the fuel on a lot of cars. What I've decided I'm going to try is I'm going to pull the fuel pump fuse, shut the fuel off, maybe try and let the cylinders clear out a little bit and see if we get some maybe better running. So let's give that a try. So I've already opened up the fuse box here, and if we take a look, this is in German. Then we have the rear indicator. Fuel pump sender is 34, 41's down here. So it's a 15-amp fuse. So it's got to be that guy right there. Needle nose, and it looks like the fuse is in good shape. Cool thing is, 80s car, got a little tester under the hood, so fuse is good. Let's see if we get any fires or pops or anything. For better luck, I grabbed the actual Porsche key. Sound a little happier. Okay, no bueno. It has been sitting overnight, so maybe the fuel evaporated. We'll put the fuse back in. Fuse back in. All right, let's give it another shot. Whoa, okay. Hey, all right, that's positive. That's positive. Not sure how many cylinders we're running on. And she's alive, but she's not happy. Doing an injector. Maybe a little unhappy. We've got great oil pressure. It might just take a while for those lifters to pump up. She hasn't been running in quite a while. But hey, that's good news, right? She's running. Okay, so she was flooded. But that's, the reference sensors are good. We don't have to mess with that gap at all. Sweet. I tapped on some injectors, thought maybe they were a little clogged up. I'm thinking we might have to pull that fuel rail and clean those out. But she started running on all cylinders. I've got a lot of valve after tap, but there's no adjustment to it on this car, so it doesn't really matter. But we're going to try and start it again, just see how she fires up. Okay. Hey, I think we're in business. I've never claimed to be great at electrical. I think I might have mentioned that earlier, but all the wiring's wrapped up, hung up there, out of the way. And I think the next thing that I'm going to tear into is we're going to pull the plugs, see how those are looking, maybe take off the distributor, see how everything's looking under there. And then, like I said, I think we need to pull the injectors and clean those out. So next videos coming up, we'll probably be checking a few things to make sure she's good to go. And then we have to dig into fuel filter, left rear caliper, rebuild, all sorts of fun things. I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Hopefully you'll enjoy the content that I'm going to put out on the Porsche. She's been something that I've loved since I was 18, and she's just a fun car. But I can't wait to get it out on the road this spring, and hopefully you'll come along. But I appreciate you taking the time to watch. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll see you next time.